This is the project we're going to do today. This is a simple card using some foiling on the front using the new Cricut Foiling Transfer tool and a simple design on the back. And so let's begin. All right, this is the project we're going to do today. It's a simple card. It's an A2 size card that's going to have foiling on the front and some printing or drawing on the back. So I started by creating a rectangle, and that is going to be 8.5 by 5.5 inches in size. And then I'm going to select, I also have a score line here down the middle. And so I will select the score line, hold down my control key and select the outside triangle. Then I'm going to align them centered horizontally. And that will ensure that my score line is going right down the middle. Now, all these floral designs here I got from the images, and browse all images, art type, draw only, and then I just scrolled through here until I found images that I liked. And my text here, the text handmade on the back and the Happy Thanksgiving on the front, I actually created these texts as SVGs using Inkscape. And you'll notice over here in the layers view, the text is showing up as the individual letters. I don't want that because that uses a lot of resources for my computer. So I am going to select the Happy Thanksgiving text and I'm going to weld it together. So that way it's just one single item in my layers view. And I'll do the same thing with my handmade for you on the back. Select it and weld it together so that it's just a simple drawing here. Okay, for this circle foil piece on the outside, I've set this for foil, and I'm going to use a bold tip for that. For the Happy Thanksgiving and the other item in the center here, I'm going to use foil for this, and I'm going to use the medium tip for it. And I'm going to have this as a gold color, and this, the outside circle, as a reddish or maroon color. The back, I'm going to use a pen, so I'm going to set this to draw. And I am going to use a gel pen. Okay, the color I'm using of the gel pen is called Merlot, but it's not in the list here, so I'm just going to select the pink because that's close. And for the text on the back, I'm going to do draw, and I'm just going to use the fine point 0.4, and I will use black for that. So now that we've got everything together, I am going to select it all. And I am going to attach it. Then we'll go to make it. Now the order that it's going to do things, it's going to score first, then it's going to do the drawing, then it's going to do the foiling of the medium. So in that case, it's going to be foiling the gold first, then it's going to foil with the bold tip, and that's this back one here. And then the last thing it's going to do is cut along the outside edge. Then I'm going to position the entire design on my mat so that I can easily place the different foils on there when I'm ready to actually foil the piece. And then I'll click continue. And I'm using some heavy cardstock for this. It's going to tell me that I'm going to need to load the pen in the pink pen in clamp A. So we're going to put the gel pen in clamp A, and we're going to put our scoring wheel in clamp B. And so we will go to our maker now. So this is the gel pen we're going to use. And so I'm going to put this in clamp A, take my blade out, and I'm going to use my scoring wheel in here. This is using the quick swap housing. So it has an O1 on the tip, and you just depress the plunger and slide it in. And that's how you put the tip onto the housing. Okay, and we'll put the scoring tip in the B housing with the gears facing the back. So we'll just slide this in like that. Okay, and I have my mat with my 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper on here. I'll feed it in, and I'll wait for the flashing light. And the Cricut light is flashing, and so now we will go ahead and go. Okay, and I will remove my pen so that I can cap it, and then we'll go back to the computer to see what it's asking to do next. Okay, next it's asking us to load the black pen, and so we'll go back to the maker and load the black pen. And we're just going to use the Cricut 0.4 tip black pen. So I will put the pen into the A clamp and press the flashing Cricut light. Okay, it's finished with the black pen. So I'll take it out and clamp it, and we'll go to the computer and see what it's asking for next. Okay, next it's asking us to put the gold foil on, and so now we will go back to our Cricut. Okay, I'm using some Glimmer foil, and the color of this foil is called copper, and so I'm going to cut off maybe about 4.5 inches. And now I'm going to position the foil using the score line as a guide, and knowing my foil design starts about 1 inch down from the top. And so I'm using some low-tack tape, and I am holding the foil down tautly. Okay, now I'm going to remove my scoring tip. And I've got my housing for the foiling tip, and I want to put my medium tip in, which is the tip that has 2 marks at the bottom. So I'll just depress the plunger and place that in, and place this in like that. Okay, next I'll press the Cricut light and it will start to foil. And now we'll carefully remove the foil. Okay, now we will go back to the computer and see what it wants us to do next. Okay, it's telling us to remove the gold foil, which we did. We want to load the foil transfer tool, the bold tip, the one with 3 lines, and then put our pink on. So we will now go back to the maker. Okay, this time I'm using some foil, again, Glimmer Hot Foil System from Spellbinders. And this particular color is called Pink. This was a variety pack that I got, and so I'm going to cut a small piece of this. And now we'll tape the pink piece of foil onto the cardstock. And we'll pull our foiling tip out. I'm going to remove the medium point tip by depressing in the plunger and just pulling it out. And I will put the tip with 3 lines on it for our bold. Then I'll put it in the B clamp. And I will press start. And I'll carefully remove the foil. Okay, now we're finished with that part of the foiling, and we'll go back to the computer to see what it wants us to do next. Okay, now it's telling us to remove the fuchsia foil, which in our case was the pink foil, and we've removed it, and to put the fine point blade in. So now we will go back to the maker. Okay, now we'll remove our foiling tip, and we will put the fine tip blade back in. And we'll press the Cricut button. Okay, now it's finished, so we'll go ahead and press the eject button, and we can remove our cardstock. And here's the finished card with foiling on the front and just a printing handmade by on the back. Okay, as a bonus, I'm going to show you how you can foil the waste material if you have the Gemini foil press. Now with the foil press, it comes with a metal shim. So to foil the waste, you put the metal shim down, and we are going to set it to medium heat, and the amount of time we're going to set it for is 65 seconds. So we're going to go for 1 minute and 5 seconds. Now we're waiting for this to warm up, and so as soon as it warms up, we'll be back. Okay, the foil press has beeped to let me know it's ready, and the temperature light is green. So what I've done, while it's been warming up, I've put the metal shim down on there. And so we will put our waste foil shiny side down about where we want it. Then we will put down our cardstock, piece of copy paper, and I have 4 layers here of medium weight cardstock, and you don't want anything to go beyond this ridge right here, and then the top plate, and then we'll click the start button. Okay, it's beeped. So now you want to just pull it straight out. You want to be careful, it's going to be hot, so handle it by the edges. And then we're going to send it through our Gemini Junior. Okay, and now we'll remove all the different pieces here. And our cardstock. And we'll set this aside to cool. And I'm going to stick this back in, and I'm going to wait for it to get up to temperature again. Okay, and while we're waiting for that to warm back up, in fact it's just beeped, it's ready, but I'm going to go ahead and just grab one of the corners here and carefully pull this up. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with our other waste material, so I'll put that about in the middle here. And I'll put it on a white background to better show you these foiled waists. And so you can just put these on another card. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!